The retired Hall of Famer Luis Aparicio's number 11 in Chicago on Tuesday night in a game which saw the White Sox losers to the Texas Rangers by the score of 9-3. Gary Ward 4 hits, including a homer, scored 4 runs. Frank Tanana the win, Tom Seaver the loss. In Minneapolis, the Twins edged the Brewers 3-2. Tom Bernansky a solo homer, Tim Laudner a 2-run double, Ed Hodge the win. The Twins now lead the Angels by 1 game. And in Kansas City, the Red Sox and Al Nipper beat the Royals 8-2. Bill Buckner a homer, 4 hits, 2 RBIs. In the National League in Houston, first place Cubs losers to the Astros by the score of 7-6. Pick it up 4-3 Astros in the 6th. Henry Cotto on second with Julio Solano on in relief. Gary Matthews rips a single to left center, scoring Cotto. 4 hits for Matthews, and we're tied at 4 apiece. Bottom of the 6th now, Astros have Terry Poole on second. George Frazier pitching. Craig Reynolds loops a single to right center. That brings in Poole. The Astros go on to win by the score of 7-6 as Julio Solano gets his first major league victory. Meanwhile, in L.A., the Mets pick up ground as they beat the Dodgers 4-0. Top of the 3rd, 2 men on base. Darryl Strawberry facing rookie Orel Hershiser. Strawberry with the base hit to center brings in Mookie Wilson. 1-0 Mets. Top of the 4th, Ron Hodges now with a base hit to left. Hubie Brooks comes in to score, puts the Mets out on top 2-0. They went on to win 4-0. Bruce Bereni and Jesse Orozco combining on a 4-hitter. The Mets now 3.5 back of the Cubs. Elsewhere in San Diego, the Padres kept rolling as they beat the Phils 3-2. Terry Kennedy 2 RBIs. Eric Schall the win. And in Atlanta, Rick Camp earned his 50th career win, combining with Donnie Moore on a 5-hitter as the Braves beat the Pirates by the score of 3-1. Moore save number 15. In St. Louis, David Green a homer and 3 RBIs. The Cards over the Reds 8-2. Dave LaPointe getting the victory and Jeff Russell taking the loss. And at Candlestick, the Expos held off the Giants 7-6. Former Giant Max Venable with 3 RBIs against his former team. Bill Gullickson getting the victory. Stay with us, Rob.
Toronto has moved as close as the Jays have been in quite some time, thanks to a 2-game swing in just 1 night. Detroit was playing host to California. The Angels, of course, very much in the hunt in the American League West. Game 1 of a doubleheader, and the Angels led 4-3 in the 7th when Howard Johnson tied it up with his solo shot. All 4 of the Tigers' run in the first game came on solo home runs. And then Doug DeCinces in the 9th inning bloops one into left with the game-winning RBI. A couple of runs crossed the plate, and the Angels went on to win 6-4 rather, and take the opening game of 2 from the Tigers and put Detroit in a rather precarious position as they headed to the 2nd game of the doubleheader. The Angels chased Tiger starter Dave Rozema in the 3rd inning and led 2-0 in the 2nd game when reliever Doug Bear served up a 3-run home run to DeCinces again. He sent this 2-1 pitch into the left field bleachers, and it was 5-0 Angels. And believe me, the rout was on. Following a walk to Brian Downing, Reggie Jackson then got into the act. You know that Reggie has hit a ball a long way and that it must have taken a funny bounce if he got a triple, because Reggie doesn't move all that well anymore. Brian Downing scores from first, Reggie into 3rd with the triple, and the next batter then uncorks. Bear uncorked the wild pitch, and Jackson scored, capping a 7-run inning. And the Angels went on to sweep both ends of a doubleheader from the Tigers, taking the 2nd game 12-1. So that put Toronto in a very good spot to pick up 2 quick games against the Cleveland Indians. They did just that, winning the first game 8-1 behind Doyle Alexander, who picked up his 11th win of the year, and the 2nd game 9-5. Now, Cleveland led 5-0 in the 6th, but Toronto came from behind. George Bell hit a home run in each game for the Blue Jays, so Toronto now only 6 games out of first place in the loss column behind the Tigers. Well, the Baltimore Orioles are not yet out of the hunt for the American League East title either, but the O's are still some 14.5 games back. One wonders how close Baltimore might be if its hitting was even close to normal this season. The Orioles have the 2nd worst team batting average in the entire American League, and they had a chance to try and improve it against the Oakland A's. Did a little bit, but actually it was some good A's defense. You know Ricky Henderson can steal bases. You know he can play offense. Watch him chase down this fly ball. That, folks, is a good catch. Henderson then did it with a bat as well. He went the other way with a 2-run home run off Mike Flanagan, and it was 2-0 Oakland early in the game. Something you don't see too often, Eddie Murray making a base-running blunder. That's the kind of season Baltimore's had after this run-scoring single. Murray starts to go home, but Ricky Henderson's wise enough to pick him off 3rd. Eddie doesn't dive back in, and he's nailed right there. Then the A's went on to secure the victory in the 9th inning when they broke a 3-all tie when Bruce Bochy singled home Donnie Hill, and the A's went on to beat the O's by a final count of 4-3, so Baltimore does not take advantage of Detroit's doubleheader loss to gain some ground on the Tigers, though they do pick up a half a game, ironically. Seattle and the Yankees tied 1-1 in the 5th inning. The bases loaded. New York, this was the kind of game it was. The Yankees had chances to score and blew them on nice double plays like this one turned by the Mariners. But the Mariners then got some help from the Yankee defense. And the Yankees certainly were lacking. Steve Henderson with a fly ball to Vic Mata in center field. Al Collins is on second base. He's trying to go to third, and Mata's throw gets away. So not only does Collins end up on third, the ball goes into the dugout, and you're on to home, Al. Seattle went on to beat the Yanks. That proved to be the winning run. A 2-1 victory for Seattle, and New York has cooled off for the moment. And once again, another case of a team having a chance to pick up a game and a half, but the Yankees with the loss only pick up a half game. Elsewhere, Minnesota beat Milwaukee 3-2. Tom Bernansky hit his 24th home run of the year. The win keeps the Twins a game and a half up on the Angels. Boston's bats came back alive. They got 13 hits. Bill Buckner went 4 for 4 with a home run in their 8-2 win over Kansas City. The Chicago White Sox have really hit hard times since the All-Star break, and the Windy City not looking too good, and thoughts of an All-Chicago World Series going out the window in a hurry. Tom Seaver served this one up in the very first inning to Gary Ward. Gets it all over the wall and over Rudy Law's head, and it was quickly 1-0 Rangers. Then in the third, Ward again, Seaver again, basically the same result. He hit it inside the park this time. Rudy Law made a nice attempt to get it, but it rolled all the way to the wall. Ward ended up on third base with a triple, and driving in at least one run, and it was 2-0 Rangers. George Wright then capped it all off with this 3-run shot into the upper deck off Jerry Don Gleaton. Look at this thing go. It's off the facade in left center field. The Rangers went on to rout the White Sox 9-3, and Chicago now back under 500 for the year. Well, the other Chicago team, the Cubs, have had a pair of heartbreakers the past couple of days. After beating up on the Mets and the Phillies, it is important that the Cubs have beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat. Houston's one of those teams, yet the Astros have been anything but good hosts. They beat the Cubs 2-1, had a chance to make it 2 in a row, which is what they did under the dome. Chicago was very much in this game with the bases loaded, though. They blew a major scoring opportunity in the 7th when the Astros turned a real nice double play right here, and the Cubs were out of what could have been a very big inning. The Astros added a couple of runs. Terry Poole, whose bat has been quiet most of the year, triples over Keith Moreland's head in right center field. Jose Cruz motors around in to score, and the Astros were up 7-4 in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs cut the lead to 1 at 7-6. Keith Moreland with a bat. A bouncing ball up the middle will score Leon Bull Durham. A nice try to make the out, but it certainly didn't happen that way. The Cubs couldn't come back anymore, though, because of nice defense that ended the game. Phil Gardner making the nice play at third base, and Houston beat the Cubs for the second straight day, 7-6. So once more, we were faced with another situation where the Mets could pick up a game on the Cubs. This time, they didn't blow it. Tommy Lasorda's crew and the Los Angeles Dodgers playing host to the Mets, looking for 2 in a row. Tommy going, oh, gosh, maybe the season's over. 8th inning, Hubie Brooks with a little blooper into left field. Mike Marshall comes to charge him for it. Maybe he should have made this catch, but the ball bounces from his mitt. Keith Hernandez scores, and it's 3-0 Mets. Later, same inning, pitcher Bruce Bereni helped his own cause. He rips this grounder. Herman Rivera simply can't get a grip on the ball, and once again, fielding woes killing the Dodgers. 4-0 Mets. Bottom of the 8th inning, Jesse Orosco in relief, pitched out of a jam. Here he gets Tony Brewer to end the 8th inning, another one of the young players for the Dodgers. And in the 9th, Orosco gets Mike Marshall as Davey Johnson looks on. Marshall just got around too much. He says he's gone, and the game was over, and the Mets beat the Dodgers 4-0, and New York finally manages to cut into the Cubs' lead, so it's down to 3.5 in the National League East. Meanwhile, the Phillies, of course, still very much in this hunt. We've been talking about the Cubs and the Mets for quite some time. The Padres looking to retain their lead on the Braves. The Padres led 3-2, and Craig Lefferts, brilliant relief pitching for this night. Phils went 1-2-3 in the 9th. As we said, Lefferts just had a brilliant game. The Padres beat the Phils 3-2 the final count, and they managed to hold on to a 9.5 game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Philadelphia fails to gain on the Cubs, so it was 3-2 San Diego over the, actually it was 3-2 San Diego over the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Braves beat the Pirates 3-1, so Atlanta does not gain any ground on San Diego. Cincinnati losers to St. Louis 8-2. The Reds lost their 70th game of the year. San Francisco did the same, losing their 70th. Montreal has a former Giant in the person of Max Venable, and he drove in 3 RBIs to beat his old team.